I'm sure most of you have heard about this by now. It is the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson boxing rules rumors. I did read through some of this a little bit, and it is fucking crazy. Basically, what happened is, I'm sure most of you know that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul have signed a contract to box each other, and you know, I could really sink my claws into that and get further into that. You know, a prime 20-year-old guy fighting a 50-year-old old man. Not to be mean to Mike Tyson or anything like that, but he is getting older, and I just feel like it isn't as fair of a fight for Mike Tyson, who has already served his time in the ring. But of course, he had a choice, whatever his motive may be. He took on the challenge of fighting Jake Paul. Jake Paul was recently in a podcast recently. They went over this guy. His name is Pickle M. Petey, something like that. And he must be like the biggest Jake Paul hater of all time or something like that, because he just came out with these outlandish claims about the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight that are pretty outlandish. They're fucking crazy, but I just wanted to show you guys the video before I show you guys Jake Paul's reaction, because he did react to this. All right, so here's the video of PD talking about the rules, which I kind of believe they're pretty made up. They'd be pretty outlandish if they actually had these rules.
The Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight might not be happening anymore after the insane rules for this fight were leaked and Jake Paul received massive pushback from the internet. When people found out that Jake Paul was going to be able to fight at a heavier weight, untested for drugs, with headgear, and with the ability to tag his brother in at the same time, they hated it. In fact, the push...
they're just so... There's such crazy, outlandish claims, like... He gets to fight at a heavier weight with headgear, so you pretty much can't get knocked out with headgear. Headgear is mainly used for sparring, because obviously you don't want to get knocked out in a sparring match, because you're literally just practicing. It's not the real deal. And to tag his brother in like a WWE match, like, I know Logan Paul's in WWE now, but that doesn't translate to a regular boxing match. They're not gonna just have a 50-year-old or 60-year-old, I don't know how old Mike Tyson is, an old Mike Tyson just fight these prime 20-year-old guys with headgear, and they can tag people in. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to begin with.
Pushback was so strong that Jake himself denied it. Check this out.
Just a quick message to the people who are complaining about the rules of me versus Mike Tyson. Some TikToker made a video making up all these fake rules. Me and Logan tag teaming him, us wearing headgear, all of this bullshit. If you believe that, you're a fucking idiot and you shouldn't be allowed to.
But now that Jake has backtracked and stated...
Okay, you know, I'm not someone to really kiss the ass of the Paul brothers. I do believe Jake here. That would be pretty fucking crazy if that actually did go through. I don't believe that's ever gonna happen. That has never happened in a boxing match, at least from what I know. If that does happen, you can come after me for that, because I really don't think that those are the rules for an actual professional boxing match, because then that just puts backlash on the boxing league as well. That would just put a huge strain on the public perception of boxing thereafter, because then it just shows them that basically they let the golden boy cheat to box. It just doesn't make any sense from an analytical and business standpoint, that's like the main reason that I'm like, no, that's not that's not gonna be one of the rules. That's crazy. And some of the comments on this are pretty nuts too. I'll show you in a second.
He's faced with an even worse reality, having to face Mike Tyson one-on-one without protective gear and a heavier weight. And now he has to make a decision. Does he risk ending his career and possibly even his life by actually facing Mike Tyson in the ring for real? Or does he throw away his dignity, cancel this fight, and live to see another day?
God, dude. Okay. There's some comments that I saw on the original post that he did about it, because I think this was his second post about it. His first post, he talked about it, and there were people saying, like, Jake Paul could call in an airstrike if he was in trouble, or he could call in a K9 unit, or drop a Black Ops nuke on him, like he just got a fucking power up in zombies. This guy has to be joking. I cannot accept the fact that he would be telling the truth and believing it, because I don't even know where he would get his sources from. So I do believe that he is pulling it out of his ass. And so Jake Paul actually did respond to it. Let's go here.
With his headgear, Jake Paul won't get knocked out and won't get badly injured. The second rule is that Jake is allowed to tag team with his brother Logan Paul, but tag team isn't even the correct way of describing it, despite that being what the contract says, because he'll be able to bring Logan in and they'll both be able to fight at the same time.
That's probably where you could pause it, because it's so sad that like millions of people believe that. It's fucking absurd. Like, first of all, there's obviously none of that's true. Like, no headgear.
Yeah, I do believe him there.
But like, no, but they're so fucking stupid. Like, anyone who believes that shit should not be allowed to vote. Like, actually, there should be like these. I thought of this. I was like, there should be these hidden tests.
This part I don't really agree with. He's basically saying like anyone who believes that shouldn't be able to vote. I think that's a little far. I don't think you should get your right to vote revoked. I think that's a little too far, Jake. Also, is this like, that's a real dog, right? Is it okay, or is it just like sleeping underneath him? Is that his dog? Why? I don't understand why the dog is sitting there. But yeah, dog's chilling. Jake's pissed because the guy on TikTok who got like millions of views. I don't even know. Let's see how many views this TikTok even has.
First rule is
this is the one that I saw.
He'll be able to wear headgear like an amateur boxer, but Tyson won't be wearing any of that. That gives Paul a chance to knock Tyson out, but with his headgear, Jake Paul won't get knocked out and won't get badly injured. The second rule is that Jake is allowed to tag team with his brother Logan Paul, but tag team isn't even the correct way of describing it, despite that being what the contract says, because he'll be able to bring Logan in and they'll both be able to fight at the same time. For the sake of his ego, I think Jake wants to win this by himself, so I don't think he'll be tagging in Logan unless he feels like he needs it, but technically it could be a 2-1 fight from the opening bell. And the last rule is kind of a 2-for-1. This states that there won't be a weigh-in for Jake. This fight is supposed to be fought at 165, meaning Tyson will need to pass this weigh-in, but Jake Paul won't weigh in, so he could be as heavy as he wants to be. And the second part of this rule is it also won't be drug tested, but again, only for Jake. So if you're keeping track, Jake will be able to fight on any performance-enhancing drugs he wants to against Mike Tyson with his brother while not getting punched.
That's crazy. That is so crazy. And this is the one that I saw, and it has 18.4 million views. The comments, so you're just gonna jump a 16-year-old man. The final rule is that if Jake Paul finds himself in trouble, he can call in an AC-130 to provide air support. Jake gets to use a firearm of his choice during the match. Okay. So I'm a big Mike Tyson fan, you know. I look at Mike Tyson, I give him a good old thumbs up. I like that guy. But it seems a little unlikely to me that he would win the fight, even though I definitely think he's stronger than Jake Paul. Obviously, those rules aren't going to be in place, but Tyson is getting pretty old. And I believe he fought like not too long ago and lost. Let me look it up. So Tyson's last fight, he faced Roy Jones Jr. at the Staples Center in 2020, so 4 years ago. And he was 54 back then, so I guess that means he's 58 right now. He looked aggressive from the onset, and Jones is 51. Holy shit. All right. Can you imagine having this all-out brawl at 55, 54? It's crazy. Like, Tyson being able to still do this at 54 and 58 now is even crazy. I think it's crazy that he's even able to do it and not die. Like, most 50-year-olds now probably would not last around in here. So obviously Mike Tyson is a very impressive fighter. Basically, it looks like Jones didn't get knocked out, scored the bout a draw. But USA Today Sports scored the fight 78-74 for Tyson. So it seemed like it was a pretty even match. But he was fighting like another 50-year-old guy 4 years ago, and now he's fighting a 20-year-old guy. I think he'll be able to last, but I don't know if he'll be able to come out on top. But that's just kind of my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about this, about the insane rules, about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Whatever you want to put in the comments, just throw them in there. Also, check out our Luke and I's new store, Twin Soul. I got my new merch here. Got the HunterRules, the HunterRules logo, looking pretty good. We have some other shirts with Twin Soul and Sock Sensei and normal ones. Check those out. Check out Patreon. Like the video if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys later.